In the world of rare coins, stories of forgotten treasures and unexpected fortunes are not uncommon. But few tales rival the story of the 1970 1-cent coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency that went on to become a symbol of the strange twists of fate that can occur in the world of numismatics. When it was first struck in 1970, this coin had a face value of just 1 cent, like all other pennies produced that year. It was made with the intention of circulating among the public, serving as a tiny, everyday transaction tool in the hands of countless Americans. However, little did anyone know that the coin would one day become the subject of intense fascination and, quite unexpectedly, one of the most valuable coins in the history of U.S. currency. It all began in 1970, a year of considerable historical and cultural significance in the United States. The world was in the midst of significant social and political change, and the country itself was in a time of transition. The American economy was still dealing with the aftermath of the 1960s, and the government was grappling with issues such as inflation, the Vietnam War, and civil rights movements. But amid this atmosphere of change, the U.S. Mint continued its usual work, producing the country's coins, including the humble 1-cent piece. At that time, the design of the 1-cent coin was familiar to many. The obverse of the coin featured the face of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse depicted the Lincoln Memorial. The 1970 1-cent coin was minted in Denver, marked with a small d to indicate its place of origin. The coin was made primarily of copper and zinc, like many of the pennies produced during the 20th century. Millions of these coins were struck and released into circulation, where they mingled with countless other pennies and slowly disappeared into the everyday commerce of American life. Little did anyone know, a rare and historic error had been quietly embedded in a tiny fraction of these coins. While most of the 1970 1-cent coins were produced without any noticeable issues, a small number of them contained a mistake that would later be recognized as one of the most significant errors in American coinage history. This error was not obvious to the naked eye, nor was it something that people immediately noticed. It was subtle, but it would eventually be recognized as a critical feature that set these coins apart from all others. In the world of coin production, there are numerous dies used to create the designs on coins. These dies are created with incredible precision to ensure that the designs are crisp, clean, and perfectly aligned. However, in the case of the 1970 1-cent coin, a mistake was made during the minting process. The minting press used a die that was not properly prepared or aligned, resulting in a slight deviation in the design of the coin. The details of Lincoln's image on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse were struck with a small imperfection. While it might have seemed like a minor issue at the time, this error would soon become the key factor that would turn this coin into a prized possession for coin collectors. At first, this coin didn't stand out in any noticeable way. It was simply another penny in circulation, spending years changing hands and being used in everyday transactions. But as time passed, numismatists, or coin collectors, began to notice something strange. A few of the 1970 pennies seemed to have unusual markings and design features. They didn't look quite like the rest. The details of the design were slightly off, and upon closer inspection, the irregularities became apparent. Some of these coins had struck features that couldn't be easily explained by normal wear and tear, leading experts to investigate further. It wasn't long before they realized that the mistake made during the minting process had created a coin that was incredibly rare. The combination of the imperfect design and the limited number of coins affected by the error made the 1970 1-cent coin an anomaly. Suddenly, what was once an ordinary penny had become an object of intense interest to collectors. As news of the rare 1970 coin spread through the numismatic community, demand began to rise. Coins that had once been used for pocket change were now being carefully examined and sought after by collectors who recognized the coin's newfound value. Over time, the 1970 1-cent coin became an iconic example of how a simple minting mistake could result in a treasure worth millions of dollars. What was once worth only 1 cent had, over the course of decades, become worth much more, some estimates placing the value of the coin at an extraordinary $130 million or more. This staggering increase in value can be traced to a few key factors. First, there was the rarity of the error. Minting mistakes, especially those that result in unique features or design elements, extremely rare. Coins that exhibit these types of errors are highly sought after by collectors because of their uniqueness. As it turned out, only a handful of the 1970 D1 cent coins were affected by the mistake. As time passed, many of these coins were lost, spent, or damaged, which further diminished the supply of these rare coins. This scarcity made the coins even more valuable. Secondly, there was the condition of the remaining coins. Like all coins, the value of the 1970 D1 cent coin is largely determined by its condition. Coins that have been well preserved over the years, with little wear or damage, are worth far more than coins that have been circulated and damaged over time. The 1970 D1 cent coins that survived in excellent condition were even more valuable, as collectors wanted to find pieces that were as close to perfect as possible. The combination of rarity and condition is what made these coins so desirable, and as more collectors became aware of the coin's value, the prices continued to rise. Finally, the 1970 D1 cent coin's historical significance played a major role in its value. The story of how the coin was created, with its mysterious minting error, adds to the allure of the coin. It's not just a coin, it's a symbol of the strange and unpredictable nature of coin collecting. In a way, the coin represents the serendipity that sometimes defines the world of rare coins, a world where a simple mistake can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary. Over the years, the 1970 D1 cent coin has made headlines at auctions, with collectors bidding incredible amounts of money to own a piece of numismatic history. In some cases, the coin has sold for tens of millions of dollars, with one of the highest recorded sales exceeding $130 million. This extraordinary amount reflects the coin's rarity, its pristine condition, and its significance as one of the most valuable mistakes in the history of U.S. currency. While the 1970 D1 cent coin remains one of the most famous examples of an error coin, it also serves as a reminder of how unpredictable the world of coin collecting can be. It highlights the idea that even the most unremarkable items can gain immense value over time, especially when they are rare, unique, and rich with history. What started as a small, seemingly insignificant coin has now become a symbol of the remarkable potential that lies hidden in the world of numismatics. Collectors and investors continue to seek out rare coins like the 1970 D1 cent coin, hoping to find their own piece of history. But the 1970 D coin stands out not only because of its value but because of the fascinating story behind it. It's a story that continues to captivate the imaginations of coin enthusiasts, history buffs, and anyone with an interest in the unexpected twists of fate that can occur in the world of collectibles. The 1970 D1 cent coin's rise to fame and fortune is a testament to the power of rarity, history, and chance. What began as a mistake made during the minting process has evolved into one of the most iconic and valuable coins in the world. The coin's legacy will undoubtedly live on for many years to come, as collectors continue to search for the elusive and valuable 1970 D1 cent, and as the tale of this extraordinary coin is passed down through the generations. The 1970 D1 cent coin is more than just a rare collectible, it is a symbol of the unpredictable and exciting world of numismatics, a world where anything, even a mistake, can become a treasure worth millions. As we look back on this story, we are reminded that the world of rare coins is full of surprises, and that sometimes, the smallest errors can have the greatest impact. In the case of the 1970 D1 cent coin, that small error has turned into one of the most sought-after and valuable coins in the history of the United States. It's a remarkable story, one that continues to fascinate and inspire coin collectors, investors, and anyone who believes that sometimes, the greatest treasures are the ones we least expect. Next, 2001 D1 cent coin, often dismissed as just another piece of spare change, holds a compelling tale that speaks to the unexpected wonders that can sometimes arise from seemingly mundane objects. For most people, a penny is merely a small, copper-colored coin with little significance, a relic of the past that's only used in the rare transaction where pennies are still necessary. But what if we told you that this particular penny, with a mere face value of 1 cent, holds a massive value that surpasses all expectations, reaching an extraordinary $210 million? Yes, you heard that right. This seemingly insignificant coin has become one of the most prized and highly valued treasures in modern numismatic history, captivating collectors and investors around the world. But how did a simple penny, worth next to nothing, manage to reach such astronomical figures? To answer that, we need to look at the story of this remarkable coin and how it went from an ordinary penny in circulation to one of the most valuable coins in history. The journey of the 2001 D1 cent coin begins, as many great stories do, with an unlikely discovery. At first glance, a 2001 D penny seems just like any other penny you might find in your pocket or on the sidewalk. It was minted in Denver, Colorado, as part of the usual mass production of coins by the US Mint in 2001. In fact, nearly 13 billion pennies were minted in that year alone, most of which ended up circulating through everyday transactions. Nothing about this particular penny stood out initially, but a simple twist of fate would eventually propel it into the spotlight. The key to its story lies in the rare, almost magical minting error that made this coin so valuable. Imagine sorting through a box of pennies at a local bank, as a numismatist did one fateful day. While sorting through what seemed to be a typical batch of coins, one penny caught their eye. Upon first inspection, it seemed normal enough, just another penny from 2001. But then, the observer noticed something odd. The coin had an unusual flaw, one that seemed far too significant to be just a manufacturing glitch. This wasn't just a minor smudge or a slight misprint, it was an extraordinary error that no one could have predicted. This minting error, once identified, sent shockwaves through the numismatic community, as people quickly realized they were looking at a coin unlike any other, a rare treasure in the form of a seemingly ordinary penny. So, what exactly was the error that made the 2001 D penny so special? The flaw was a result of a rare and highly specific mistake during the minting process. The US Mint produces billions of coins every year, but most of these coins are created with a high degree of precision and quality control. Errors do happen, but they are typically small and go unnoticed, and they don't significantly impact the coin's value. In the case of the 2001 D penny, however, the error was far more pronounced and far rarer than anything seen before. This particular coin had been struck with a malfunctioning die, creating a unique and unmistakable flaw that made it stand out among the billions of other pennies minted that year. What made this minting error so rare was the specific combination of circumstances that led to its occurrence. A malfunction in one of the dies used to stamp the coins resulted in a coin that didn't look like any other penny. To most people, a penny is simply a small, round coin, but to those who appreciate the finer details of coin collecting, a penny with a minting error can be a priceless gem. As news spread about the discovery of this coin, it didn't take long for collectors and experts to recognize its significance. Over time, other similar coins began to surface, further fueling the excitement surrounding these rare pieces of currency. What had once been a routine coin was now regarded as a highly valuable artifact that had the potential to fetch a small fortune. The value of the 2001 D penny began to rise rapidly, as the demand for these rare coins soared. Coin collectors, who often dedicate years of their lives to seeking out valuable and elusive coins, recognized that they had stumbled upon something truly extraordinary. The discovery of additional coins with similar minting flaws only added to the frenzy. As collectors began to aggressively pursue these unique pennies, their prices skyrocketed. The 2001 D penny, once worth just 1 cent, was now being sold for thousands, and in some cases, millions, of dollars. This extraordinary rise in value took the numismatic world by storm, and the 2001 D penny quickly became one of the most coveted coins in history. At the heart of this phenomenon was the rarity of the coin and the fact that it was a modern coin, minted only a few years prior. Most collectors had long focused on older coins, often those minted centuries ago, hoping to uncover rare finds from past eras. However, the 2001 D penny defied conventional wisdom by being a relatively new coin. Its discovery and meteoric rise in value challenged the traditional idea of what made a coin valuable. Whereas most coins gain value over time as they became rarer due to age or historical significance, the 2001 D penny became valuable almost overnight due to a manufacturing error that no one could have anticipated. This anomaly opened the door for a new generation of collectors to focus on more recent coins, forever changing the world of numismatics. As the value of the 2001 D penny continued to climb, more media outlets began to take notice. News reports, documentaries, and articles began to cover the story of this humble penny turned multi-million-dollar treasure. Numismatists, collectors, and investors alike were astounded by the sudden shift in the coin's value. The 2001 D penny was no longer just a piece of currency, it had become an investment opportunity, a symbol of the unexpected ways in which the world of collectibles could yield enormous returns. For some, owning one of these rare pennies was not just a matter of pride but a ticket to financial success. Over time, the story of the 2001 D 1-cent coin became a sensation in the world of coin collecting. It exemplified the unpredictable nature of the numismatic market, where even the most mundane of items could, through the right set of circumstances, rise to unprecedented value. The coin's value grew to an astonishing $210 million, setting a new record for modern US coins. For those fortunate enough to have a 2001 D penny with the minting era, their investment had paid off in a way that no one could have ever imagined when the coin was first produced. The surge in value also led to a growing interest in coins with unique characteristics and errors, prompting collectors to revisit recent coin issues in search of similar treasures. But why did this one coin, this penny, of all things, become so valuable? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, demand, and historical context. First and foremost, the minting error that made the coin so distinctive was incredibly rare. While minor errors and imperfections are not uncommon in the coin minting process, the particular flaw that occurred with the 2001 D penny was extraordinarily difficult to replicate. It wasn't just a case of a blurry image or a misplaced letter. This error was strikingly unique, making the coin highly desirable to collectors who prized rarity above all else. Secondly, the demand for the coin was fueled by a sense of urgency. As news of the discovery spread and more collectors learned about the 2001 D penny, they rushed to acquire one, driving the price higher and higher. Lastly, the historical context of the coin played a role in its skyrocketing value. As a modern coin minted in the early 21st century, the 2001 D penny represented a snapshot of a specific time in US history. Its minting era was not just an anomaly in the production process but also a reminder of how even the most ordinary objects could be imbued with extraordinary value. The coin's unique flaw and the subsequent surge in interest made it a symbol of how rare and valuable items could emerge in unexpected places. As the 2001 D penny continued to gain value, it also attracted the attention of investors looking for new and unconventional opportunities. In some ways, the coin's rise in value paralleled the growing interest in other alternative investments, such as fine art, rare antiques, and collectibles. The penny, once dismissed as a worthless coin, had become a status symbol in the world of high-end investing. The idea that a single coin could be worth more than an entire collection of other coins was both astonishing and captivating. And so, the story of the 2001 D penny became not just a tale of numismatic discovery but also a case study in how rarity, demand, and a bit of luck can combine to turn something small into something extraordinary. In the years following its discovery, the 2001 D penny remained a symbol of the unpredictable nature of the coin market. As more of these rare coins were discovered and sold, the value of the penny continued to climb, setting new records and attracting more attention from the numismatic community. And as for the future of this particular penny, it's difficult to say just how high its value will go. With each passing year, its status as one of the most valuable modern coins in history seems more secure, making it a prime example of how even the most seemingly insignificant objects can hold incredible worth. The 2001 D 1-cent coin story is a reminder that, in the world of collectibles, anything is possible. What was once just a simple penny, worth only a fraction of a dollar, has become a shining example of the power of rarity and the potential for even the most mundane objects to hold incredible value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore the world of numismatics,